ஆழ்வார் திருவடிகளே சரணம், எம்பெருமானார் திருவடிகளே சரணம், பிள்ளைலோக்காச்சாரியர் திருவடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். ஸ்ரீசைலேஷ தயாபாத்திரம் தீபக்தியாதி குணார்ணவம் யதீந்திர பிரவணம் வந்தே ரம்ய ஜாமாதரம் முனி ரம்ய ஜாமாத்ரி யோகீந்திர பாதரேகாமயம் சதா ததா யத்தாத்ம சத்தாதிம் ராமானுஜ முனிம் பஜே லக்ஷ்மீநாத சமாரம்பாம் நாத யாமுன மத்தியமாம் அஸ்மத் ஆச்சாரிய பரியந்தாம் வந்தே குரு பரம்பராம். யோ நித்யமச்சுத பதாம்புஜ யுக்மருக்ம व्यामोहत स्थगितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये. मातापिता योतयस्तनया भूति सर्वं यदेव नियमेन मदन्मयानाम् आद्यस्य न कुलपतेरुकुलाभिरामं श्रीमत्तदङ्ग्रीगणं प्रणमामि मूर्ध्ना भूतं शरश्च महताह्वय भट्टनाथ श्री भक्तिसार कुलशेखर योगिवाहान् भक्ताङ्ग्रेण परकाले यतीन्द्रमिश्रान् श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्. लोकाचार्याय गुरवे कृष्ण पादस्य सूनवे संसार भोगी संदष्ट जीव जीवातवे नमः. Last week we started enjoying prapanna parithrANam, which is a very beautiful grantham by piLLai lOkAchAryar. It is one of the rahasya granthams. In this grantham, piLLai lOkAchAryar identifies two important qualities which are required for a prapanna. Prapanna is one who is surrendered, and that too a mumukshu, one who is surrendered to Bhagavan for liberation, that is eternal kainkaryam, nitya kainkaryam. For such persons, two important aspects, two important qualities are required. Ananya gatitvam, akinchanyam. Ananya gatitvam means having no other refuge than Bhagavan himself. Akinchanyam means having no engagement in any means other than Bhagavan. That is, having no interest to pursue karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, trinama sankirtanam, dividesha vasam. Considering none of these to be the means to attain Bhagavan and being totally surrendered to Bhagavan, that is akinchanyam. Ananya gatitvam means having no other refuge. Only Bhagavan is the refuge and no one else is going to protect us, save us. So these two qualities, Ananya gatitvam and akinchanyam, both of those are very much expected by Bhagavan from prapannas, that is surrendered persons, the two who are mukshus, those who are seeking liberation. So here piLLai lOkAchAryar started explaining Ananya gatitvam, and in that he straight away got into the point of saying only Bhagavan can protect us and no one else can protect us. Here no one else includes many personalities. It could be father, it could be mother, it could be brothers, it could be devatas, it could be wealth. So all of these come under the category of others who cannot protect us. And these others also include self. Even we cannot protect ourselves. So the only protector, the only person who can liberate us is Bhagavan. That is the conclusion. To establish that, piLLai lOkAchAryar started explaining how nobody can protect us. Protect us here does not mean just saving us from some difficult situation, poverty, from suffering and so on, but it is protecting us from eternal suffering in samsara. So only Bhagavan can liberate us. That is the point which is emphasized and made by piLLai lOkAchAryar here, and he does that by showing examples. So for each of the category, he showed one example or two examples, and he proves that that particular personality cannot protect us, help us, liberate us. So he started with brothers. He told that Vali and Ravana are good examples for brothers not protecting individuals. Sugriva was Vali's brother, but Vali turned against his own brother and tormented Sugriva. Vibhishana one was Ravana's brother, but Ravana turned against his own brother and tormented him. So this proves that brothers cannot really protect us. Now, as I said the other day, we can ask, these are all exceptions probably. Not every brother will leave us when we are in difficulty. Not every brother will make us suffer. But here the point is, the examples shown are to demonstrate that the brothers don't do real help of liberating us. So that is the focus here. Only Bhagavan can liberate us. Others cannot do it. So only to prove that point, these examples are shown. So it's not that we should again turn inimical towards our own brother or family or whatever it is, but we have to understand that nobody is going to give us liberation. Only Bhagavan is going to give us liberation. That is the point which is being specifically made here. So example for brothers not protecting was given. And then children. Children is generally said to be helping one while being present in this world as well as after death also, because it is the children, mainly sons, who have to do the yearly rituals, shraddham, so that the Atma, when it reaches Pitrulokam, remains satisfied and gets better progress. So sons are seen as protectors, but here piLLai says that Rudra and Kamsa, they tormented their own fathers. And then mother and father, they are also not protectors. We can see that from Kaikeyi, who gave trouble for her own son, Bharata. And then Hiranya tormented his own son, Prahlada. And that particular concept of how mother and father are not real protectors, because generally we see mother and father as the real protectors in many cases, but they are not the ultimate protectors. That is not those who can deliver us to Sri Vaikuntham. So that is explained by showing the nature of worldly mother and father, how they care about themselves only. When they are in trouble, they will even sell their children, and those kind of examples were given. And also, when they are in deathbed also, let's say when a father is in a deathbed also, if he had hidden the family wealth or treasure, he may remain quiet and not reveal it. And at that time, even the family members will come and surround him and even try to force him to reveal the truth. And how the family setup sometimes is explained using பெரியாழ்வார்'s பாசுரம், சோர்வினால் பொருள் வைத்ததுண்டாகி சொல்லு சொல் என்று சுற்றமிருந்து. So even family members will come and kind of interrogate, where is the wealth, where is the wealth, where have you kept the wealth, and these kind of things we see in the current world. We see a lot of conflicts between father and son, brothers, between relatives. We see a lot of these problems. It is not that acharyas are exaggerating. They are saying the truth only. But if we have a good Vaishnava, Sri Vaishnava family, then we may not have people like this who are focused on materialistic aspects only. if they are real Sri Vaishnavas, they will guide us towards Bhagavan. All the father, mother, brothers, relatives, all of them will guide us towards Bhagavan. So they are not discussed here. It is about the materialistic people who are not favorable towards Bhagavan and Kaikaryam and liberation and all that. Only all of these are about such people only. So we've seen all of these, and then we finally saw how husband will not protect wife. And example we see there was Dharmaputra. Dharmaputra, Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva, all of them had Draupadi as their wife. And when she was in trouble, they could not and they did not help her. So that was an example given. Similarly, Nala and Damayanti, they were also a very well-known historical personalities. Nala and Damayanti, they were married to each other, but due to a curse, Nala had to live in exile. At that time, Nala was taking Damayanti along, but he didn't want Damayanti to go through a lot of suffering in the time of exile. So he actually left her alone in the forest after showing her the path towards her parents' kingdom. So in such case, we can see that Nala actually left his wife. So these are examples where husband did not protect wife. So up to this we have seen last week. Now we'll continue on. We are going to see how devatas are not real rakshakas, real protectors. So that is being explained next. So here, piLLai lOkAchAryar says, now we have seen that brothers, sons, mother, father, husband, these are not going to protect us and deliver us, liberate us. But why not devatas? They are all worshipable for humans. In Bhagavad Gita also, Bhagavan says that the humans, the people here in this world, they have to give offering in yajna to devatas, and in turn devatas will protect the humans. They will give rain, they will give sunshine and so on. All the devatas have their own responsibilities, and they will do that well and protect the world. So why not Chandra, Aditya? They can be considered as protectors, rakshakas. For that, piLLai lOkAchAryar is saying, no, we cannot say that. Now here Chandra, Aditya, that is Surya and Chandra, and then other devatas, Varuna, Vayu, Agni, many other devatas are there. Everyone can be considered here. All of those, they all work based on fear for Bhagavan's commandments. Bhagavan has given orders through Shastram that sun has to rise at this particular time, sun has to set at this particular time, and then he says wind has to blow in this manner, fire has to burn in this manner, water, rain has to come at this particular time. So all of these are Bhagavan's commandments. Based on that commandments only, they all work, and they cannot independently do anything. For example, there is ocean. Ocean is controlled by Varuna. Varuna is the deity for ocean because it's a water body. The ocean cannot cross its boundary, breach its shore easily because Bhagavan's orders are there. That order says that ocean should remain within its boundary. So for that, ocean is fearful. So in this manner, all the devatas, they are fearful of Bhagavan's orders and they work according to that. They are not independent. They are always dependent on Bhagavan. So when they themselves are dependent, they cannot really deliver us. And their goal is not to deliver us. Their goal is to administer the world, to manage the resources here and provide facilities for people to live comfortably in this world. That is their responsibility. Their responsibility is not to guide others towards liberation. So they are not considered as the protectors here, rakshakas here. So here he is explaining further. Now, for example, sun, it is dividing the day into multiple portions, and it rises at a particular time, and then there is a change in direction of sun's path, and then it sets at particular time. So this is how sun is working. Similarly, every devata is working in that manner. And then not only they are working according to Shastram, they are also sometimes held captive by Hiranya, by Ravana, and so on. So they are subdued by very powerful asuras and rakshasas, and then they have to end up serving those asuras and rakshasas. For example, we see how Ravana had all of the devatas as his steps, where he climbs to his throne. On the steps, he had every devata, and it is said that that time only Shani had a fierce look at Ravana and cursed him, and so on. We hear some stories like that. So we know that the devatas were at times completely subdued by asuras and rakshasas, and they end up serving those asuras and rakshasas because of fear of their own life. Hence, when they are themselves fearful for their life, how can they protect us and deliver us? So they cannot be uh, the real protectors. That is explained here. And then further, he says, how about Indra? Indra is the leader of three worlds. That is Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, and Swargaloka. These three regions of the Brahmanda are under the control of Indra. Now, how about Indra? Is he worshipable? Can he protect us? Can he deliver us towards Bhagavan? For that, here piLLai is saying, Indra, who is the protector and the chief of the three worlds, himself is always fearing, when will my position be slipped away? When will it be lost? Because many individuals in the past used to do tapasya, great tapasya, for many, many thousands of years, and they will aim for the post of Indra. Again, last time itself, I explained that all of these devatas, they are all only positions, they are all posts. Now there is one Indra, there is one Varuna, there is one Vayu, Agni, and so on. Again, once this Manvantara is over, the whole sequence of devatas will be replaced. It is like a government where they have prime minister and then ministers and then different portfolios and all. At the end of the regime, the rule, once the elections are over, now everything gets changed. The whole cabinet, whole ministry will be changed. Similarly, the whole devatas, set of devatas, they will all change. Another person will become Indra, another person will become as Vayu. So that position will be there, but the personality will be different. So they are all fearful. Now Indra himself is fearful of his position, because he is also cursed that he will always remain fearful for his position, and because also people would do tapasya and try to come to this Indra post. We see sometimes people engage in certain yajnas, and when they do that yajna, they reach Swarga, and then they become Indra also. We see the story of Yayadi. Yayadi was the leader of Yadu Vamsham. He had performed great tapasya and he ascended to Swargalokam and he shared the throne with Indra because of his long penance. Now Indra became very jealous and he was not very happy that someone is sharing his position, his post. So he wanted to push him down, throw him down. For that, he asked a question to Yayati. He asked, who is said to be the most righteous king when you were ruling in the earth? For that, now Yayati had to respond. He can either say that it was him because he was the very righteous, most righteous king during his times. So he can say the truth that I was the most righteous king that time. But if he said that, Indra will say that you boasted your own fame. You spoke high about yourself, which is not a good quality. So you lose to be in this position as Indra and you will be kicked out. Now, thinking about this, if Indra says, no, it was not me, it was some other king. Sorry, Yayati, if Yayati says it was not me, it was some other king, then Indra will say that you lied, you have to go down, you cannot remain lying in this seat. So either way, Indra doesn't want anyone sharing his post. So that is the this is a particular story which is shown in Mahabharata. And interestingly, Nanjiyar asks Parashara Bhattar. Nanjiyar is one of our acharyas, and his acharya was Parashara Bhattar. Parashara Bhattar is Kuresha Swami's son, and Parashara Bhattar is very famous for giving excellent answers for questions. So here Nanjiyar asks, what is the purpose of this story? Some king goes to Indraloka and he was asked a question and Indra kicks him out because he doesn't like to share his post. What is the moral of this story? What is the purpose of story in this Itihasa or Purana? Uh, was the question asked by Nanjiyar. For that, Parashara Bhattar says, he gives a very beautiful answer. The moral of the story is we have to always look up to Bhagavan Sriman Narayana. Unlike other devatas who cannot tolerate anyone sharing their post, anyone being at par with them, Bhagavan is totally different. Bhagavan, when he gives liberation to us, he gives 8 qualities which he has to the ones who are liberated. Apahata papma, vijiraha, vimrutyuhu, vishokaha. So all of these qualities, that is being free from sins, being free from thirst, being free from hunger, and all of these qualities, being free from death, and all of these qualities which are present for Bhagavan, these qualities are given in full for the liberated Atma, Muktatma. So, Bhatter says, now we can understand the greatness of Bhagavan. He welcomes everyone, even though he is the Supreme Lord, he welcomes everyone and he makes every one of these Atmas to be equal with him in 8 qualities. Not in all manner, but 8 qualities. You look at other devatas like Indra, you see how jealous they are. They are not even supreme. They are having some minimum powers, but even in that particular state, they cannot tolerate anyone sharing their seat and being jealous like that and not being magnanimous. But on the other hand, Bhagavan is so magnanimous, he gives samyapati to all the atmas who reach him. So that is the moral here. We have to look up to Bhagavan and we have to try to reach Bhagavan, not these other positions which are both temporary as well as filled with such ragadvesham. So, likes and dislikes by many personalities. So, that is the moral of the story. Says Parashara Bhattar to Nanjiyar. In this manner, we can see that Indra is always very possessive and selfish and jealous, and always fearful of whether he will lose his throne. So that is Indra's situation. And also, Indra was defeated by Indrajit, Ravana's son. That is why he got the name Indrajit, because he defeated Indra. And not only that, he lost everything uh, by losing the battle from Mahabali. So Mahabali Chakravarti, he came and he drove out Indra and all the other devatas from their places, and he lost all his wealth, and he became filled with tears and running around this world wearing very meager clothes and like a very impoverished person. Because of all of these factors, Indra cannot be our protector, explains piLLai. And then next comes, okay, Indra is not our protector. How about Brahma? Brahma is the Lord of the Brahmanda, the whole universe is under his control. He is the God for creation. So why can't he be the Rakshaka, real Rakshaka for us? That is the next question. For that, piLLai explains, Brahma too got um, defeated and cheated by Madhu and Kaitapa. These two asuras, they came and they took away all the Vedas from Brahma. And when Brahma lost the Vedas, he became blinded. He was saying, he was crying out, I lost my eyes, I lost my wealth, because Vedas were Brahma's wealth. Because whenever Brahma is engaged in creation, he would be reciting the Vedas constantly. So he would be reciting the Vedas and he would be engaging in the activity of creation. He would guide others, he would teach others. All of these are done mainly using Vedas. And he lost those Vedas. He could not even protect his own property. And he was um, crying out loud and suffering because of that loss. And finally, Bhagavan had to come and he had to defeat those asuras. That is why he is known as Madhusudana, because he killed the demon asura named Madhu, and that is why he is known as Madhusudana. So Brahma, again, he could not even protect the Vedas, which was his primary wealth given by Bhagavan. Vedas were given by Bhagavan to Brahma at the beginning of the creation. Bhagavan is the one who instructs the Vedas to Brahma. So Vedam is Aporushayam. It remains in the heart of Bhagavan, and when the creation happens, Bhagavan gives that Vedam as Upadesham to Brahma. And then Brahma gives the Upadesham to others like Prajapatis and Rishis and all of them. And then this Vedam gets transmitted orally, continuously. So this is how the Vedam is preserved. At the end of the whole creation, when the annihilation happens, again Vedas rest in the heart of Bhagavan. So this is a continuous cycle. So this Vedam is the main wealth of Brahma, but he loses that itself. And then Rudra plucks Brahma's head, one of the heads. Brahma had 5 heads. Rudra also had 5 heads. We saw this how sons will not protect. For that we saw this example. That is again repeated here, because as a Devata, Brahma could easily have protected himself, but he could not even protect himself because Rudra overpowered him. Rudra, even though he is the son of Brahma, he is considered as greater in knowledge because of Bhagavan's mercy again. Bhagavan gives great knowledge to Rudra also. But Rudra has tamogunam very often and rajogunam too. Due to this passion and ignorance, sometimes he acts in a weird way that here he plucked his own father's head. So In this case, Brahma's head became lost and he became wounded and he could not do anything. Again, Bhagavan has to help Brahma at that time also. So, because Brahma himself is suffering like this, how can he be the Rakshaka? So, that is explained here. And then Rudra. Now, Rudra is explained in an elaborate manner. He is having annihilation as his task. So, anybody who is annihilating, killing others, usually people will not have confidence in such persons to be the Rakshaka, the protector. So, that is shown as the first reason. And he is also reddish in color. Sometimes he is said to be reddish in color. So that form, his form is very fierce. It's like flames, burning flames. That is the nature of his complexion. Because of that, when someone looks at Rudra, it will feel like a person who is already tired. If fire is poured on him, how harsh and sorrowful it will be, how painful it will be. That is how he appears. That is the appearance of Rudra. So, that is another aspect which is explained here. And then finally, those who come to him, those who surrender unto him, Rudra tests them very in a very cruel manner. Sometimes it is said that Rudra is said to be very easy to approach. He is very easily pleased. That is why he has this name, Ashutosh, also. That means one who is easily pleased. But on the other hand, he is also said to be one who puts his devotees to great, very cruel tests. And we see some literature where when he wanted to test one of his devotees, he comes to the devotee's place as a Rudra Bhakta, in the form of a Rudra Bhakta, and he comes to that devotee and he is asking for some food, some alms. And then when that devotee brings food, he says, "Cook me some fresh food. I want fresh." And that devotee is a very kind person and he wants to serve Rudra Bhaktas. So he is ready to cook. At that time, he says, "You have to cook your own son for me as food." This devotee becomes very upset and his wife also becomes very upset. Why is this Rudra Bhakta testing me like this? Why is he testing my devotion like this? Because that devotee is thinking that this Rudra Bhakta is just a Rudra Bhakta. He doesn't understand yet that is Rudra himself. So he says, you have to give me your own son as my food. And then he then cooks. He cuts his son and he cooks. That time also he says, "You have left the head without cooking. You have to go and cook that head also and give it to me." So he puts that devotee in great uh, stress and tests him. And he also asks for animal sacrifices and so on. So these are all shown as qualities of Rajas and Tamas. Finally, that devotee is blessed by Rudra. That's a different story. Still, he put so much cruel test for his devotee to prove his devotion. So these are all shown as qualities of Rudra, which makes one think that why would one want to surrender to such a person? So that is the thought process one will get. So that is what is shown here. And then another example is shown here. The Charitram of Banasura. The Banasura is a devotee of Rudra He has great devotion towards Rudra and he pleases Rudra. And Rudra becomes pleased and he says, I will stay in your town and I will protect you from any hazards, any dangers. I will always be there for your protection. He promises to Banasura and he stays in his town also. Now, what happens is Banasura's daughter, Usha, she once gets a dream. She sees a very beautiful masculine person in her dream and she becomes very attracted towards that person. She wakes up from the dream and she doesn't know who that person is. And then she is wondering, who is that person? How can I meet him? And she falls in love with him in a very great manner. She tells her friend, who is a very able person, very capable person. She is known to have special skills, special talents, where she can draw a person's picture just on hearing the description. And she can also imagine what was happened in others' dreams. So that is her first talent. So now she asks Usha to narrate, to describe the person whom Usha saw in her dream. And then Usha starts narrating, and then she starts drawing that person. As she draws the picture, she gets the face of the man whom she drew based on the description given by Usha. But Usha is not satisfied seeing that person. And then they keep trying like that. They keep trying. And Usha gives narration, description of the facial features. And then this friend, she keeps drawing the person's face. As Usha told that it's a very beautiful person, she also tries to match whoever were beautiful at that time in the world, present at that time. So finally, she draws the picture of Krishna based on the facial features explained. Usha sees that, she says, oh, he's very beautiful. This person is very beautiful, but not the person I saw is not as beautiful as him. And then Usha draws Krishna's son, Pradyumna's photo or picture. Seeing that, Usha says, it's very close, but still it's not the same person. And then her friend draws the picture of Aniruddha. Aniruddha is Krishna's grandson. That is, Rukmini's son is Pradyumna and Pradyumna's son is Aniruddha. Once she drew Aniruddha's picture, Usha became very, very happy. She says, this is the person. I want this person. Now, Usha's friend, she has another skill. She can fly and she can lift any heavy material also. So she immediately goes to Dwaraka. She goes to the palace of Aniruddha, where Aniruddha was sleeping on the cot. And along with the cot, she lifts up Aniruddha and brings Aniruddha to Usha's private quarters, Anthapuram. And Usha introduces herself to Aniruddha once Aniruddha wakes up. And Aniruddha is surprised that he is in a very strange place. But he is happy to see this beautiful girl, Usha. And Usha introduces herself as Banasura's daughter. And she says she is in great love with Aniruddha. And Aniruddha was happy to accept her. And they start living in the private quarters of Usha. Days pass by. Somehow, Banasura comes to know that there is a man in the private quarters of Usha, where only the Usha's assistants, ladies, maids and all, they will only be there. No men will be allowed there. But he comes to know that there is a man, and he finds out about it. Actually, Narada is one who comes and tells that Krishna's grandson is living happily with Usha in her private quarters. And Narada also goes and tells the same to Krishna, that because they are all searching for Aniruddha there in Dwaraka. So Narada goes there and tells that he is happily living in private quarters. And actually, by the time Banasura arrests Aniruddha, he imprisons both Aniruddha and Usha together. So Narada Rishi, he goes and tells Krishna that Aniruddha is arrested by Banasura. So immediately, Krishna, along with all his warriors, they all launch a attack on Banasura's town. So this is where Rudra is waiting to help Banasura, and Banasura goes running to Rudra and he prays to Rudra that Krishna is coming with his great army. Now I need your help to protect me. So Rudra says, okay, I will protect you as promised. So he summons all his family, Durga, Skanda, everyone, all his Sena. All his Sena comes there and they are all ready to fight for Banasura against Krishna. The big battle starts. Krishna wages a war against Banasura. He wants to bring Aniruddha back to him. And as Banasura starts the battle, one by one, Krishna defeats everyone. Rudra's son Skanda goes away running, showing his back in the battle. Durga goes away. Agni, fire god, that goes away. And Jwaram, there is a demon created by Rudra just for this fight, and that Jwaram also runs away. Everyone is defeated. Finally, Rudra is also defeated. He also runs away from the battlefield. Banasura is left alone. Krishna chops off Banasura's hands. Banasura had 1,000 hands. So, except for 2 hands, all the 998 hands were chopped off by Krishna. He just left 2 hands. And he did not kill Banasura because, again, Banasura is the son of Mahabali. So, Mahabali's son is Banasura. Already, Mahabali is the grandson of Prahlada. Bhagavan had promised to Prahlada that he will not kill anybody in his family unless they warrant it. So here he wanted to forgive Banasura. So he did not kill Banasura, he just chopped off the 998 hands and he gave an option to Banasura to be graceful and accept Aniruddha as his son-in-law. So finally Banasura also accepts and then he gives his daughter Usha in marriage to Aniruddha. But in all of these incidents, Rudra could not save Banasura. Now Banasura had great faith in Rudra. He thought that Rudra will protect him completely. But Rudra could not protect him. Not only that, he ran away from the battlefield also. And when Banasura called out Rudra, don't run away, don't run away. At that time, piLLai actually says humorously, if you also survive, we'll meet some other time and we'll have some food together. Saying that, he ran away, Rudra. And covering his face, he ran away because he didn't want to reveal his identity that he is Rudra and he has ran away from the battlefield like this. So he hid his third eye also and he ran away from the battlefield. So all of these are narrated saying that Rudra not only could not save his devotee Banasura, but also he had a very great humiliation in front of all of the Sena and all of that, and he had to run away from the battlefield along with his family members. None of them could survive, could sustain the assault of Krishna. And not only that, we already saw how he became a Pataki. Pataki means one who did a great sin of plucking his own father's and guru's head. Brahma is both his father and guru. Brahma is the father for Rudra, and also he is the one who gave knowledge. Directly he gave the knowledge to Rudra. So he is the guru. But he acted against his own father and guru and became a sinner. And what happened? Wherever this same world he was ruling, where he was great and famous for his knowledge and great devotion towards Bhagavan also, the same place he had to run away having skull stuck to his hand, because the Brahma's skull became stuck to Rudra's hand as Brahma cursed him. Because you plucked my head, I curse you that the skull will remain stuck to your hand, it will never be filled. So he went begging for alms to fill that skull. Rudra went begging. That is why he is known as Kapalishwara. Even in Chennai, in Mylapore, there is one temple for Kapalishwara, where this all of this history is well documented in the temple of Rudra himself. So he was roaming around with this skull stuck to his hand. Finally, he went to Badarikashramam and he prayed to Badrinarayana Bhagavan, and by the grace of Badrinarayana Bhagavan, the skull got removed. So can such Rudra liberate us? That is not possible. So that is what it is explained here. And not only that, in many instances, when Gantakarna came to Rudra praying for liberation, he showed Krishna. Bhagavan, Rudra said that Bhagavan Krishna will be coming here. You ask him for liberation. He will give you liberation. So he is honest enough. Rudra is celebrated in some sense that he is very honest and he leads devotees to Bhagavan when they sincerely ask for it. Generally, if someone comes to him, he will keep them for himself as his servitor. But if someone is genuinely asking for liberation, then he will guide them to Bhagavan. This is the same case in the case of Markandeya Rishi also. When Markandeya was saved by Rudra temporarily, he was happy. But then he asked for liberation, Markandeya. At that time, Rudra said, I cannot give liberation. You have to ask Sriman Narayana for that. And he guided Markandeya Rishi to Sriman Narayana. And subsequently, Markandeya Rishi became a great devotee of Sriman Narayana. So in all these stories, we can understand that Rudra himself guides those who are sincere towards Bhagavan. So in this case, we can understand that Rudra is also not the one who can give liberation. Now, we should not say, oh, because he gives liberation to, he guides sincere devotees to Sriman Narayana for liberation. Can we worship Rudra for that? No, that is not the prescribed manner, way for it. Sometimes some devotees of Rudra, they may get interest for liberation and they may seek liberation for him. In that case, he may direct, that too he may, we don't know 100%. He may direct such persons to Sriman Narayana, Vishnu for liberation. But it is not guaranteed always. So, worshipping Rudra for any of these goals, it is not recommended at all for Sri Vaishnavas. That is the point of this whole Grantham, that they are not to be worshipped and they are not to be served and they are not to be prayed for anything, including liberation. So that is the purpose of this Grantham itself. So here, Devatas not being our Rakshakas is very nicely explained here. In the next section, we will see how wealth is not going to liberate us. It's not real protection for us, because many people will think that if I have money, I can buy anything. That concept, that thought process should be given up. So next section, lOkAchAryar explains that, and then finally he explains how Bhagavan is the real protector in all situations. That is all for Ananyagatitvam. And finally he also explains Akinchanyam and concludes the Grantham. We'll see the remaining portion next week. Alvar Tirdigade Sharanam. எம்பெருமானார் திருவடிகளே சரணம். பிள்ளைலோக்காச்சாரியார் திருவடிகளே சரணம். ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். பல்லாண்டு பல்லாண்டு பல்லாயிரத்தாண்டு பல கோடி 100,000 பல்லாண்டு தின்றோர் முனிவண்ணாவும் சேவடி செவிதில் காப்படியோமோடும் நோடும் பிரிவினி 1000 பல்லாண்டு வடிவாயின நிலமார்மேல் வாழ்கின்ற மங்கையும் பல்லாண்டு வடிவார் சோதி வளத்துறையும் சுடர் ஆழியும் பல்லாண்டு படைப்போர் முழங்கும் அப்பாஞ்ச சன்னியமும் பல்லாண்டு. We'll see in the next session. Next Sunday we will plan for next session.